believe Vanguard's first strike is now officially complete, and we've got a cargo hold full of insights for you. And my main point is this: Vanguard officially represents a change in gaming, a change that other studios need to take notice of, or they're going to be left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, Loru here, digital advertiser, content creator, and Vanguard enjoyer for the better part of 10 years now, and we just got done streaming Vanguard for multiple days, having a blast, and inviting y'all to some matches. Successful extracts, massive amounts of PvP kills, everything was fantastic. Vanguard was super fun to play, full stop. This is the #1 thing to consider when you're playing a video game. Is it enjoyable to play? And Vanguard was enjoyable from start to finish. There was not a single moment when I was playing the first strike that I was like, I don't know about this. The most asked question I saw in chat or in the comments was something to the effect of, how does Vanguard compare to Call of Duty? How does it compare to Tarkov? Why would you play games like Vanguard if you could just play HUD Showdown? And before I go into answering that question, the fact that it was even asked is already a win for CCP games. They're asking, how does an alpha playtest compare to fully finished games? Already, this alpha was so clean, so polished, so snappy that people are comparing it to Warzone, Tarkov, and the like. All of that means at least that CCP Games is doing something good. Now, it's worth noting the question, can you compare EVE Vanguard to Tarkov, cannot be answered. You are essentially comparing a small apple seedling, a tree that has barely started growing, to a full-fledged tree producing fruit, massive roots, etc. Tree analogies aside, I think the proper question to ask is the base that Vanguard has, is the core of Vanguard strong enough to contend with these fully finished games down the line? So here's what we saw playing Vanguard. The map was pretty fantastic. There was plenty of stuff to do in between point A and point B. There was no dead zones. We had no problems finding some kind of content. The learning curve was easy. Spawn in, left click some heads, we die, we go again, witness me, we go again. There was a good balance between PvE and PvP. You could discern who was a player versus an NPC after you kind of dove in a little bit. The sound was decent, although footsteps need to be worked on a little bit in my opinion. But what first-person shooter doesn't need to improve the footsteps mechanics, I ask you? The different ammo types were accessible and easy to get to. The missions and contracts were interesting and had you go all over different parts of the map. The various systems in game, the looting, contracts, map, ammo systems, even healing didn't bog you down like in games like PUBG or Apex Legends. The clone revive system meant you have to work together with your team to be able to get those extra lives. You have extra lives in the game, meaning you can take some more risks, have some more fun with stuff. And because you can take more risks, the game doesn't feel as ratty like Tarkov does. You're not as afraid about losing your stuff because you have those chances. And finally, the gunplay is actually snappy and something that was enjoyable from start to finish. And most importantly, something you can improve on with practice. Now notice I have mentioned absolutely nothing about Vanguard's connectivity to EVE Online. More on that later, because the answer to the question, is Vanguard worth your time or is Vanguard good, really shouldn't have EVE Online come into play. That should be extra. Is Vanguard a good game as is? The answer is yes. What makes it a great game is that it connects to EVE Online and has more to it than any other FPS game, even in alpha. I'm not talking there's more systems in Vanguard just yet. Again, the game isn't finished. I'm talking about the fact that it is connected to EVE Online. That makes this better than any other FPS game out there, full stop, right now. Even in this first strike alpha playtest, if you finish your contracts, you would forward the corruption stat. This is the pirate faction warfare point system in EVE Online. This is the win condition of the pirates in EVE Online. In layman's terms, if you played Vanguard and did contracts, you helped the pirates in EVE Online. This meant that we already have in this alpha playtest people from EVE Online sending and paying corp members and mercenaries into Vanguard in order to further the pirates system's win condition in EVE Online. The game isn't out yet and we already have fluid connectivity in a way that encourages players to go play Vanguard. This gives replayability, interesting outcomes. And let me back up a sec. In Apex Legends, what do? You zone in, you play, you die, you go again. The best thing that can happen in Apex is that you win your game or you win more next time. In Warzone, you go in, you queue up, you play, and you may unlock a camo or a weapon attachment for something obscure, etc. In Tarkov, you can get awesome gear, push your stash to its maximum, get a bunch of awesome items, but then lose everything to some rat in a corner you didn't see just because he was prepping it and he knows the spots. Vanguard has something all of those games don't have already in alpha. A reason to play Vanguard that isn't tied to some reward track or battle pass. Battle passes are good, but it's not the only reason that you want to play a game. You don't just want the neon, molten lava skin, whatever the heck. You want to know that your gameplay, your time matters. And with Vanguard syncing up to EVE Online, empires are literally going to rise and fall just because a couple mercs decide to go on planet and left-click someone's heads. The connectivity from EVE Vanguard to EVE Online is the first of its kind and is one of the most interesting things about the game. So what's next for EVE Vanguard? Well, a couple of articles have already soft confirmed there's going to be another playtest coming in January 2024. That's next month. So make sure you subscribe so when the playtest comes out, you get all the changes and stay up to date with all the news. We also have a full EVE Vanguard playlist right here. So bookmark that, come back to it whenever there's stuff dropped. We're going to put it in there. And thank y'all so much. We did it, baby. We hit 10K subs before the end of the year. We also passed 4,000 followers on Twitch. Thank you kindly. So stay tuned for that blowout stream that I promised. Thanks again, y'all, and we'll see you in a future video.